Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
I'm telling you what they said. That was revolution. That was revolution. That was the Black Revolution. It was the grassroots out there in the street. It was the grassroots out there in the street. Scared the white power structure in Washington, D.C. to death. I was there. When they found out that this black steamroller was going to come down on the Capitol, they called in Wilkins. They called in Randolph. They called in these national Negro leaders that you respect and told them, call it off. Kennedy said, look, y'all letting this thing go too far. And old Tom said, boss, I can't stop it because I didn't start it.
Black family, there used to be a time where the dominant society was very comfortable. I mean, just happy. They was kicking their feet up, throwing their arm around their favorite coon, popping champagne, making toast, happy as hell because everything they did was easy. Everything went off without a hitch. Tell a lie, coons believed it. Run a con game, coons believed it. Pull out a trick bag, coons believed it. I mean, they got to the point where they didn't even have to make up new shit, and coons believed it. And this went on for a long time until something happened. Overnight, a new wave rolled in, a new vibe showed up, and these certifieds done pulled up to the front door. Now all of a sudden, the con games ain't conning anybody, the trick bags ain't tricking anyone, the coons ain't all smiling, showing their teeth no more. They out here getting public wake-up calls. They went from tap dancing to temper tantrums. They went from bucking their eyes to buck broken. They went from butter biscuits to out of business. That's a damn shame. And the dominant society went from discrimination to desperation. And everybody knows it, and it's all because of us. So what is that new wave that's rolled in? What is that new vibe that was created? And who is this steamroller at their front door? That is foundational Black American certified Black society B1s. And this is B1 season, and this is officially the Black Grassroots Takeover. Black Alpha Network, mount up. All right, family, you know I gotta start this off by sending out a dedication to all of my brothers, sisters, kings, queens, the goddess, and the gods. Peace, love, and reparations, y'all. It's all about us. But we're going to go to work today, and we're going to break down how the Black Grassroots have showed up and changed the whole game. Because it's officially the takeover, and we're in official business, and we're in official control. And a lot of motherfuckers don't like that, just to be honest, but that's cool. We make a living out of keeping haters pissed off. That's what we do, because we on our game, and we stay on our code. When we're on our code, everybody's mad. So guess what? Right now, everybody's mad. Why you think they throwing something new at us every day? Every single day, you can look at some other group from some other place who got some type of bone to pick with foundational Black Americans. But the problem is for them, shit, we used to it. Like I said, we make a living out of this shit. What Cat Williams say? He said, always keep you a few haters. Well, we got a whole damn world full of haters. And they always upset and they always angry. But like we always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, I guess they're going to be some angry motherfuckers then, because we're not stopping. We're going to continue to do what we do. And remember, hate goes up. You never see somebody hating on anyone beneath them. It's always someone over them. You don't see the person in traffic in the front of the line worrying about what's going on behind them. They looking forward, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're not looking at these haters, we looking past them. So remember, they're standing still, not going anywhere. And they got to look up at us to see us. And that's exactly what they're always going to have to do, because we're going to always stay on code and we're going to always keep going forward. That is the name of the game. And it all starts with the Black Grassroots. Remember, we live in rent-free in their heads. I mean, rent-free. We ain't got to pay utilities, no down payments. We just live there because they wake up in the morning thinking about us and we don't even think about them. What are we talking about? We're talking about reparations. We're talking about tangibles. We're talking about resources, Black empowerment. And they're thinking about FBA, FBA, FBA. How can I hate on FBA? How can I come up with some bullshit on FBA? How can I make a Twitter space about FBA? How can I call in a Twitter space and hate on FBA? It's basic. These people think about us much more than they'll ever admit, and much more than the average person even knows. We understand that when we go on about our business, someone's always trying to get involved. I mean, think of any issue that is about us that someone else isn't trying to crowbar themselves into. Think about any issue that has something to do with our team, our society, our family, that someone else isn't trying to weasel their way past. We don't do that to nobody. We stay in our own lane, mind our own business. Hey, we too busy handling what we got to do. We don't wake up thinking about nobody else. If anything, we wake up thinking about money and how we gonna get this reparations check. That's what's on our mind. We're thinking about our reparations. They're thinking about hating us. Y'all see the contrast? And half the people out here who are hating us, they could be fighting for their own reparations. If they took that same energy and that same smoke that they got towards us, they might actually do something with themselves. They wouldn't be out there getting colonized. They wouldn't be out there hopping borders. They wouldn't be out there swimming over fucking rivers trying to get to America. Man, there's so many goddamn things that they could do with their time instead of worrying about us. It's sad, shameful. But it doesn't matter, because anytime this type of energy comes towards us, we know how to handle it, we know how to deal with it, and that's what the B1 Grassroots has been doing. This is our season where we've been circling our wagons. We speak about that all the time. Any dead-end, half-assed relationship that people try to put on us, we've regulated that shit. We've regulated. There's been some serious race regulating going on. And we're at the forefront of it. Like I said, this is the takeover. The official takeover, and it's being done by the Black Grassroots. In the very beginning, you heard Malcolm X talking, and everything he spoke about was the true grassroots from his time. They'll tell you it was Selma. They'll tell you it was a sit-in where motherfuckers was getting milkshakes poured on their fucking head. That's a damn lie. Any achievement that foundational Black Americans have ever received, it has been because of the Black Grassroots. They'll never put this shit in no history book. They'll never make a TV series. They'll never put it in the headlines, but that's okay. Because when you know, you know. Because we understand everything that our ancestors and our elders did to get us where we are. Walking across the bridge and getting your ass whooped did not get me to the point where I am today. I'm sorry. Okay. When you see young Black folks having Black businesses, that is not because Black folks in the 60s was tying themselves to goalposts and letting dogs get sicked on them and water hose sprayed at them. Nope. John Lewis is not the reason why we're saying reparations or else. John Lewis is not the reason why we're saying cut the check. John Lewis is not the reason why we say tangibles over everything. That's not happening. I'm sorry. They can try to take credit for it. Fuck that. No, not happening. And anybody who tells you that the Black Grassroots was not responsible and Selma is the reason why we're here where we are, that is either a race soldier who would love for you to do that Selma shit again so he can sick his year 2000s dog on your ass, or he can spray his year 2000s water hose on you, or he could just harm you and say it's because he feared for his life. It could be any of those. Or it's going to be B, a coon from back in the day who wants to have another civil rights reenactment so he can relive his past coon glory. Those are the only two people who will ever tell you that the Black Grassroots did not get shit popping in the 60s. And when I say Black Grassroots, the beauty of it is it's everybody. We are all included, and it can be anybody from certified Black society, all walks of life. You had Black folks that were getting out of school, leaving class, and then taking to the street. You had folks working at McDonald's, clocking out and then going take it to the street. And that's the same thing that's happening right now. Look at all these beautiful foundational Black Americans who are out here putting in work. Look at Mason, Tennessee right now. Look at all the Black brothers and sisters who rallied behind that situation. That's the Black Grassroots. Look at the reparations claim and the Black folks who are calling in on all these op-ass panels and all these immigrant-ass panels that are trying to misrepresent our reparations. Look at the Black brothers and sisters who are calling in regulating that shit. Look at the Black brothers and sisters who are pulling up on these politicians who are telling them same old outdated-ass lies. And we challenging them. Who is that? That is us. It's the same Black Grassroots that Brother Malcolm X was talking about in the very beginning. It's just our generation's version of it. And we're watching it all happen and it all play out in real time. And we're all playing a role in that shit. That's the best part about it. Everybody right now, listen, I guarantee you, there's something that you got going on in your life. There's a movement that you're a part of. There's plans, ideas that you're presenting that are going to change this whole fucking country. I listen to brothers and sisters every day. You get on the Twitter space. We just had one the other night, and I seen brothers and sisters in there dropping game. Real game. I'm not talking about that fake shit that they gonna put on the goddamn Selma documentary. No. I'm talking about real game that's gonna move the needle. And brothers and sisters are out here everywhere. Don't for 1 second think that we don't have the right minds and the right intelligence. You sadly motherfucking mistaken if you think that. One thing I know for sure is that black brothers and sisters in this era are not playing. FBA don't play, and I mean every word of that shit. If you get out of line and you step out of line, you gonna get G-checked. What we doing? We calling out people. We pulling paperwork. When have you ever even heard that term? Matter of fact, hold up, freeze. Let me stop. This is what we do here on the Black Alpha Network. When we start hammering and we start cooking, we frame it and we break it down real clear. Let's break this down real clear. Look at all these new terms that you've never heard in black society for 500 years that we've been using for the last 5. I'll start right where I was at. Paperwork. We pulling paperwork on everybody. If your ass come around and you funny style and the radars get clicked on and the antennas go up and you start saying some shit that's off code, your ass is getting your paperwork checked. If your paperwork comes back clean, you clean. If your paperwork come back dirty, your ass is getting thrown on the corner like it's trash day. New term. I love the term non-FBA. When have we ever heard that? We used to hear African American, people of color, minority, shit that anybody could be a part of. Shit, we heard that all the time. And what did we do about it? We got rid of that old dry ass term and we put in a new one that's more accurate. Foundational Black American. And now when someone is not a foundational Black American, when they come around and say, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, son. I'm from Harlem. No, the fuck you ain't. I'm from Atlanta. No, the fuck you ain't. You a non-FBA. That's like my favorite. I'm just gonna say it, y'all. I love that term, non-FBA. I mean, you can't get any more clear to identify an outsider than telling them, I think you non-FBA. Matter of fact, you see it all the time. How many times you seen it in the Twitter space where somebody comes in and they start trying to immediately start talking FBA issues? And they start saying, well, you know, it's FBA. We got to do this and we got to do that and we got to do this. And you start saying, oh, it's somebody. I don't know who. Either it's going to be a sister or a brother. Someone going to say, hey, hold on. Where you from? What's your background? I'm from America. Where? The east side. The east side of what? The east side by the bridge. What bridge? Oh, man, you non-FBA. Get the hell out of here. We see it all the time. Anytime you step out of line, non-FBA. Your shit don't add up, non-FBA. You start talking with a little accent, you got a little Caribbean vibe, I'm getting immigrant vibes, non-FBA. I've heard it all the time. Immigrant vibes, that's another term I hear people say. I'm getting immigrant vibes from you. We pulling your paperwork, you non-FBA, B1 Black First, Foundational Black American, Certified Black Society, Race Regulating. Go down the list. If I forgot one, you know what it is. We have new terms to identify people who are not on code. As a matter of fact, on code, off code. These were terms that were loosely based and only used by a few group of people. Nowadays, shit. The Black Grassroots, we have these words in full swing, full effect. We can all point to it. We can all identify it. So if you come around here and you're unidentifiable, then your ass is getting thrown on the corner like it's trash day. Uncle Phil, tossed out. We gonna DJ Jazzy Jeff your ass. And that's what you gotta love. So I'm sending all y'all a B1 salute because this is how you change things. This is how you create change. This is how you push things forward. This is how you advance our people. And this era right here is the era that will go down in history. That's without a doubt. We already have. Like, we could stop right now today. And we've already affected more lives and created more change than people are willing to give us credit for. But that's cool because it don't stop. I mean, if you think that we've done things now, like ran up on some of these politicians, like changed the vernacular, like ended all these dead-end relationships, if you think we've done that and we've made change already, shit, wait till tomorrow. What Tupac said, wait till you see this next guy. Well, goddamn it, we are the next guy. You know, and it's our world and we running shit right now. This is FBA, B1, Black Grassroots, and this is the Takeover. And it all starts just by our energy. It's our energy, man. That's what happens. It's certified energy. All my day ones, you know what I'm talking about. I always speak about having certified energy. Certified energy is the code. You can't have the code without having certified energy. That's the vibe that you put off to your brother or sister when they see you. This is why you can sit down with another B1 and the vibe is strong. And that shit penetrates anything, but it cannot be penetrated. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we got right now. We're not the asking generation. You know, a lot of those eras from the past, they were real asking generations. You know, can we do this? Shall we? May we? We don't use none of that shit. We say cut the check. They used to speak with question marks at the end of their statements. We speak with exclamation points. A whole lot of the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? We tell, we don't ask. We take, we don't beg. We come right through the front door. We ain't trying to crawl through the window and say, please let us in. Please hang out with us. Fuck that. As a matter of fact, get the fuck out. This is our house because we built this shit. Foundational Black Americans. That is the attitude you have to have. That is the energy that you must possess. And we possess it all because this is the Black Grassroots. And we all feel it. Everybody feels it. It's the energy. It's all in the air. Mind, body, soul, mentally, physically, spiritually. You feel it somewhere. You damn right. I mean, everybody who's old enough to remember. An example. Y'all remember the Obama era? Y'all remember that shit? You remember that just whack, coon fucking energy that was all over the place? I mean, the fucking church folks was out here. The Democrat folks was out here. The It's Getting Better y'alls. The Yes We Cans. That shit was everywhere. And now it ain't. Now it's gone. Those people have been reduced to being irrelevant. Nobody, all those groups I just named right there are quiet as a church mouse. Ain't nobody listening. They can yell as loud as they can yell at the top of their motherfucking lungs and won't nobody hear them. We have rejected them to the point where they are racially homeless. Yes, I said it, I'll say it again. Racially homeless. You have been kicked out of the Black community and no other group wants your coon ass, so you will be sleeping outside tonight. Okay, in a little coon tent. That's about as far as you're going. You are racially homeless. And it's a damn shame when you fuck up cooning. Cooning is this is how low budget and bootleg these people are. Cooning is the easiest shit in the world to do because it doesn't require any integrity and you still fucked it up. You know you are low budget when you fuck up cooning. That means you failed at failing. The fuck? How you lose twice at the same time? That's what they do. They out here breaking all types of records. And it only happens because we done ran them off the block. We done put coons out of business, y'all. I'm telling you, they got their fucking eviction notice. They got their pink slip. They've all got wake-up calls. Why you think you're seeing so many coons get wake-up calls? Why you think you keep seeing all these sellouts go from national television shows to internet live streams? Roland Martin, Marcus Lemoyne Hill, Charles Blow. Hey, and then the networks that they go to are going out of business. Damn. Hey, that's what we call a race receipt. Okay? We just said we putting coons out of business. The Black News Channel went out of business. That was a coon network. So when we say that these motherfuckers are failing at cooning, the Black News Network proves our point. Race receipt. And not only that, not only are they going out of business, not only are they failing at cooning, you see them out here having these temper tantrums. Like I said, they went from tap dancing to temper tantrums. All in real time. You watching it all play out. Jesse Smollett, he got his wake-up call. His buddy Don Lemon, he done got his wake-up call. Joey Reid done got about 3 of them. Whoopi Goldberg. All they asses done got their wake-up call because Zaddy is angry. And you gotta answer why these FBAs won't quit talking about reparations. And you gotta answer why these FBAs say no reparations, no vote. And you gotta answer why these FBAs are saying reparations or resign. So when Zaddy say he gonna take your butter biscuits away, they go out in public and start talking like this.
Listen, I gotta go, but I appreciate the fifth slide and everything. I did want to ask though, reparations is a big thing. Look, reparations is big with me. I'm the only one doing the bill. Why y'all keep fucking with me on that? I'm the only one doing the bill. That's my bill. Which bill? The reparations bill. HR 40? HR 40. Okay. I've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years. So it's been around for 38. So why y'all keep telling me about a bill that's been there for 38 years? Well, older than my grandson. Yeah, but 27. That bill been up there 38 years. And y'all looking at me that I'm supposed to pass it. We just want you to push it. I have been. Well, ask Sheila Jackson Lee. Tell her to push it too. Well, she's the one that offered it. She wrote it. Yeah. Come on, y'all need to get. No, y'all need to get land that plane. Y'all need to stop this foolishness. Respectfully.
That man was mad. He was pissed off. That's what I'm talking about. He having a temper tantrum. Why you keep out here fucking with me? Now, let me go ahead. I gotta roast this guy. Go ahead, y'all. Pull up a chair. I'm gonna rock for a minute. Let me get into my Black Alpha roasting session real quick. Because I've already nominated him for Coon of the Year, Coon of the Decade, Coon of the Century. I mean, he done came to the award show and swept all the goddamn Coon Awards. Like, don't even go into the crowd. Just stay on stage, accept your awards, and everybody go home. Because it's a foregone conclusion. We already know who is Coon to the maximum. He gonna sit here and say he done pushed HR 40, a bullshit law, for 37 years. If you got to push the law for 37 years, you ain't really did a goddamn thing. Now, for all them other groups that you're always out here campaigning for, that you're always out here promoting, you passed they shit in 37 days. We gotta wait 37 years for a study. Now, mind you, HR 40 is a study. It's not even a policy of tangible things for 37 years. That's like a motherfucker saying they've been in college for 37 years and ain't got no degree. Then your ass ain't really been handling business and you need to drop out. That's why I heard somebody say, it might have been Jason Black. I'm not sure who said it. Whoever said it, credit to you. I send you a Black Alpha Network salute. But reparations or resign. Get your ass out of here. This is why we got real reparationist candidates who are really coming to push tangibles and at the same time push his ass out the way. This dude's just too old, too out of touch. He got too much Sambo energy. He's an old Toby, an old dusty ass buckwheat. He need to sit his ass down, step his ass down, and let some real ones handle business. All right, we can't have nobody who goes to the Coon Awards and don't even share his Coon Award. I mean, you got goddamn coons left and right, and they can't even get the goddamn spotlight because he just take all the goddamn awards. He thanked the Academy every goddamn year. So we need to get him the fuck up out of there. And every time you see him talk, he talk like he do something. That's what I always say. Counterfeit Negroes really think that they're black. That's why we need to start telling motherfuckers you ain't black. If Joe Biden can say, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black, then us certifieds, we can say all y'all motherfuckers ain't black. That's what it is. Because they don't represent us and they're not going to run around with the title of being black, of being a brother, being a sister, being a certified. You ain't running with none of them terms if you ain't holding shit down. And it's clearly the only thing this motherfucker is holding down is a box of butter biscuits, and that's about it. So him and his butter biscuits can all get the fuck out. The door is that way. Bottom line. And did y'all notice how immediately he tried to shift to Roe versus Wade? And he tried to switch to voter rights? Things that mean absolutely nothing to foundational Black American society. And this is what you have when you have these fake ass representatives. Always remember, it's miseducation, misrepresentation, and misdirection. And he does all three of them. He tries to pump these liberal laws on us, tries to act like the Democratic agenda is our agenda, and we all know it's not. And he's been doing this shit for 777 years. And he'll be 778 on Thursday. So he needs to get his old Uncle Ruckus ass the fuck up out of here because this the Black Grassroots takeover and anybody who's off code is on the clock. Regulators. First off, you would never talk like that to no other group. Y'all notice that shit? You notice that, right? You have a whole list of them that the only time you ever hear them use profanity is when they talking to another brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? But won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. You know damn well. But they only talk like that to us. Same with Joe Biden. You go to hell. That's because them other groups don't present any threat. They know they got them other groups in the palm of their hands. FBA, we say it and mean it. We the only ones who put our name on it. All that troll shit, like trying to crowbar yourself into another person's business or trying to cling to someone else's reparations claim, trying to piggyback or swing off the coattails of someone else's struggle. FBA, we ain't got to do that. We too busy being black. We'd much rather focus on ours than worry about yours. We'd much rather build our own instead of having a seat at your table. That's why Clyburn was in that motherfucker sweating. He was mad as hell. Oh, buddy who did that video, salute, because you had that motherfucker angry. His Sambo sensitivity was just irking him. He was sweating out all that fish fry grease. You can see the shit on camera. He was bucking his eyes, sweating all types of grease. And that's exactly what it looked like when you go from tap dancing to tantrums. And we got them all having tantrums right now. That's what happens. You can always judge the way things are going by how mad a coon is. You know, when coons think they got shit, go back to Obama era. They was showing their whole fucking grill, their mouth, their teeth, everything. They couldn't stop smiling. Cause all that first black this and first black that, all that shit used to work back then. Not anymore. Cause here came the whole certified black society and we done diffused all that shit. They can't pull none of that first black shit on us. They just had another first black this week. The White House secretary lady. Yeah, it's her. You know, the one that's dating that W lady. Just like Ketanji has a W man and Kamala has a W man. So we see the requirements to be Joe Biden's first black. You better be going home to the dominant society. Anyway, her, that was another first black. That's like the 255th first black in the Biden administration. And it's also the 255th first black that FBAs don't give a fuck about. They keep throwing that shit out there and it don't work. That shit like back in Obama era where they was crying and waving hands and shit in the air and having to fucking wave. Please. FBAs today could give two fucks about a first black, okay? You give us a first black and we won't give you 2 fucks. That's what it is. Man, certified, we don't care about that shit. The fact that they're still trying to roll out the first black and actually think that shit is working or it's gonna have any effect, that shows you the desperation that I was speaking on. Very desperate, very desperate. The dominant society don't know which way to go. They don't know which way to go. They don't know whether they're gonna pull out the old trick bag, the new trick bag. They tried overt and covert. I want y'all to think about that. Usually, when anti-black racism is served to black folks warm with some sugar on it, they say supremacy went away. And they throw another plantation celebration. But this is the first time where that covert, liberal, anti-black racism hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. It worked during Bill Clinton because he did it. It worked during Obama because he did it. Hillary Clinton ran and she tried to use it. Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, all of them have tried their covert anti-black racism, their liberal anti-black racism, and all of them have been called on it. Y'all know why that happened. We all know why that happened. So we're going to stop real quick and we're going to salute our goddamn selves once again. That is a product of FBA B1 Certified Black Society again. And there is a laundry list of it again and again because we are in full control. Any era before, we salute, we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. We will all say that loud and proud. But we will also tell you that this era right here is different. This era right here is moving, and this era right here is showing everybody something they've never seen before. And that's the thing about the Black Grassroots. It has everybody scared. Everybody. Because they used to never feel any pressure. They used to go around, talk their bullshit, run their games, and people would let them slide. There's no more letting shit slide. There's no more giving passes. There's no more letting everybody in. Everybody's getting their paperwork snatched. Everybody's getting ran up on if they out of code. This is the on codes versus the off codes. And you know how that plays out. We win every time. You had some real B1 brothers and sisters from the grassroots that were on the ground. I'm talking boots on the ground. Out there, that little fish fry thing that Clyburn had, and he was all twisted. He didn't know what the fuck to do. He used to going on making some goddamn fish fry and motherfuckers voting for him. And folks were saying, we ain't voting for shit. No tangibles, no vote, no reparations, no vote. And he had to bring off security guards. They was literally escorting people out of there, y'all. And that's what we got to do. We got to stay on that. These reparations panels, these fake politicians, everybody who's trying to misrepresent us, go to their spot. Go to their spot, pull up on them, put pressure on them, and let them know. B1, Black Grassroots are in the building, and you better get your shit right. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Every day, all day, twice on Sundays. So salute to all my family out there. Keep them boots on the ground all through the 50 states. And let's let them know the Black Grassroots is one of a kind. This country's never seen black folks on code like we are today. I put that up against anybody. I put my name on that without question. And the best part about it, everyone's seeing an example of what it's like when foundational black Americans are on code in masses. I'm not talking about 10, not talking about 20, not talking about 30. I'm talking about millions lined up, building, getting it, empowerment. So everything that you see around you and everything you read on your timeline is a direct effect of black Americans being on code. This is what happens. So while everybody shook and everyone wants a piece of what we got, we gonna keep on doing our thing even better. Because remember, first they deny and then they get desperate. And that's what's happening right now. And as a matter of fact, speaking of being desperate, let's talk about the Dave Chappelle situation. Did y'all see that? Y'all see that? There's a whole lot of examples of what we're speaking about right now in that Dave Chappelle situation. And I gotta go there. Yes, I do. Black Alpha Network, I appreciate the pull up. All my new riders, I salute you. All my day ones, I salute you. But let's get to that work like we always do. And let's cash a couple receipts in the process. When we talk about being on code, like the Black Grassroots is, when we talk about being on code, like Certified Black Society is, or we talk about being on code as an individual, understand, supremacy will do anything to win by hook or by crook. And when you got them beat and none of their moves work anymore, as I said, none of their trick bags are tricking anyone, none of their con games are conning anybody, then the last thing they resort to is being desperate. This is the same energy that we see all the time when these other groups show up, when these trolls show up, when these agents show up, if they cannot defeat you straight up, then they gonna come through the back door. And that is what's happening with our brother Dave Chappelle. How in the fuck can any situation like that play out? I'm talking about the whole thing. I'm talking about the beginning to the end. You mean to tell me this guy, out of nowhere, goes past all the security in the room, and I'm talking about there's billionaires in there. You tell me anywhere where a billionaire's at where there ain't $1 billion security. And that's just his own. You want to add the other security from the billionaires and the $1 million venue, then you got a whole lot of security. And some dusty ass dude looked like he just stepped out a dumpster, but didn't forget to paint his fingernails. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was painted up. So we know a group this man belonged to. Runs on stage and doesn't go after anybody but our brother Dave Chappelle. Sat there during the whole show and waited for Dave. But not only that, he gets a weapon on stage. Matter of fact, the damn comedians in the back did more than the $1 billion security.
Breaking news overnight, comedian Dave Chappelle attacked on stage while performing at the Hollywood Bowl. The suspect was reportedly armed with a gun and a knife. Kaylee Hartung is there with the latest. Good morning, Kaylee.
Good morning, George. Dave Chappelle has been known to stir up controversy, but this chaotic scene was not meant to be a part of his show. Walking into the Hollywood Bowl last night, you were supposed to check your cell phone, but of course, some made it in and captured this shocking attack on Dave Chappelle.
Overnight superstar comedian Dave Chappelle tackled on stage in the middle of a performance at the Hollywood Bowl.
On the Highline Avenue at the Hollywood Bowl. The subject's still no black. 85 years wearing a black hat, blue flannel, gray pants.
According to the LAPD, the assailant, who was in the audience, climbed onto the stage and attacked Chappelle in the middle of his set. The man then ran behind a screen on stage. Chappelle reported to the audience the man was being stomped.
Really? Okay, if that's hiding it, I hate to see what the fuck obvious looks like. That shows you the desperation all across the board, and that is an impact based on what we got going. These other groups all the time are trying to cancel our people. Every day, they go around the people who really have problems with them. They leap over the people who really harm them, and then they focus on FBA, who's over here minding our business. You name it, go down the list, we can go through it. We're talking about rappers, actors, comedians. Kevin Hart had to re-apologize. They said, your first apology ain't good enough. We need a second one, 10 years later. And then we just woke up one day and decided that we wanted an apology. Not 10 years later, but 10 years and 5 days later. This is the shit that they be on. Fucking Nick Cannon had to apologize. The Baby had to apologize. Snoop Dogg had to apologize. They came after the tennis girl, the gymnastic girl, the track and field girl. They out here trying to cancel black folks who have passed away from the cradle to beyond the grave. How many times they try to cancel Prince? Michael Jackson, they got a new documentary about him every other weekend. Surviving Michael Jackson, surviving the Jackson 5, surviving Thriller, surviving Netherlands, surviving the Moonwalk, surviving the Glitter Glove. Damn, when you say shameless, when you say spineless, that is exactly what they are. But know this, when they can't cancel you, or they can't make fake accusations about you, or they can't put out a surviving documentary about you, then they send someone on stage to attack you. It ain't hard to tell if you know what you're looking at, and we got the eye, we see past all that W bullshit from a mile away. And if you sat back and told me when all this cancel culture shit was going on when it first started, if you sat here and told me that the only two men to beat cancel culture, I'm talking about the only two men anywhere, to ever beat cancel culture would be two FBA comedians. Not the goddamn rappers. The gangster rappers done apologize. They was writing whole apology notes. Straight up going on television shows damn near crying. Like the gangster rappers, it's not them. They're not the ones who beat cancel culture. They talk all that tough guy shit on them records. But when that cancel culture came for them, they was pulling out that prepared statement. The only two people that beat cancel culture, and when I say beat them, did it with a middle finger up, is Dave Chappelle and Bill Cosby. Let me say that one more time. Dave Chappelle, Bill Cosby, two FBA comedians are the only two people in this country to beat the W mob of cancel culture. Which, by the way, cancel culture seems to be very anti-black. Because, you know, it always targets us and goes around everyone else. What do they say? Race soldiers don't get fired, they get transferred. Well, I say W men, they don't get canceled, they just go on leave. And it be some fucked up shit. I mean, they'll have the evidence of it. Look at the New England Patriots owner, Robert Kraft. This man was found in a spa that was a prostitute ring. They had eyewitness accounts and video footage, all means by their own standard and their own logic of being canceled. And what happened? They said, we ain't gonna put out the video, drop the charges, and his ass was at the football game on Sunday. In the press box, eating popcorn, face on the Jumbotron, waving to the crowd. But when it comes to a black person, all you gotta do is say the wrong word. Say the wrong term, you could stutter. And they talking about getting the law involved. They talking about pressing charges. They be trying to take your career away. They wanted 15 apologies from you in 1 month. You gotta apologize every day from the 1st to the 15th. If not, they canceling all your future shows. They stopping your tickets. Your music can't drop. You can't perform here. You can't host this. Just petty shit. But if you look, these folks from the dominant society, oh, they got a horrible track record. Their list is terrible. Way bigger than name calling. These motherfuckers are actually committing crimes on camera and they looking around them. But you know the crazy thing about all that is, ain't none of that shit ever worked on Dave Chappelle. They tried to cancel him, stop, and come back and re-cancel him. And Dave stepped around all that shit a few times. Y'all remember when that one particular group tried to cancel Dave Chappelle? That shit ain't work, did it? That shit ain't work at all. And he called them out. Remember they was trying to get Netflix to drop him? Netflix guy come out and basically said, Dave makes too much motherfucking money, I'm sorry. Y'all go find somebody else to cancel. We sticking with Dave. And when that other group tried to get him to apologize, he said no. Straight up, N-O. No, I ain't apologizing. And then it was like, you need to meet with us. He said, I'll meet with you, but let's make one thing clear. I'm not being summoned anywhere. I'm not getting called to the principal's office. He laid that shit out crystal clear for everybody. Straight up, because normally they try to shame you. They try to put the brother on the whipping post and just make you look bad publicly. That's an old tactic of supremacy. Dave didn't go for none of that shit. I ain't being summoned over to your spot. I ain't getting called to a place. If I do it, it'll be because I feel like it, and it will be on Dave Chappelle terms. Ain't nobody said no shit like that. These damn rappers out here talking all tough, getting on songs, saying they'll slap the whole club and take everybody's girl. But when the other community comes after them, they write a 12-paragraph apology, posted on Instagram with their signature at the bottom. So everybody knows they sorry. They're like, who's sorry? He's like, me. I'm sorry. Can I come back now? Dave said, fuck that. I ain't apologizing for shit. And he's not just bucking the system as some outlaw. He's not just beating cancel culture, some outlaw who's doing some shit on his own. Dave Chappelle is saying all this shit and still selling out shows. The week they tried to cancel Dave Chappelle, he went over to the UK and sold out a whole audience. All he has is sold out shows. You put up Dave Chappelle tickets and Dave Chappelle come to your town, them tickets gonna be gone within an hour. All that while putting the middle finger to cancel culture. And mind you, Dave's been doing this shit for how long? How long ago was the Chappelle show? Long time ago. Charlie Murphy, all them Prince skits, how long ago was that? That was in the early 2000s? Dave's been calling out Hollywood and all they funny style shit way the fuck back then, bucking the system. He talked about all the anti-black racism on the set. He talked about how they try to get him to wear a dress. This is shit motherfuckers ain't talking about today. Dave was talking about that shit way the fuck back then. And what they do? They had a whole smear campaign, whole slander, newspapers, television shows. They called him crazy. They said, what's wrong with Dave Chappelle? He's lost his mind. His family can't get a hold of him. All that shit was a goddamn lie, a proven lie. And they did this shit for about 10 years on Dave Chappelle. This is why they're so angry at Dave Chappelle right now. This is why they're getting so desperate. They're not used to their canceling culture not working. They used to pulling out the cancel culture and just getting black folks one by one. And you got a guy they've been trying to cancel for years. And like we said, he's selling out shows. He's still stacking money. As a matter of fact, they gave him good press and he turned that shit into dollars. More dollars. Bill Cosby came home and ate a pizza and threw up the peace sign. Oh yes, they are mad. That's why they go pick any random dusty ass dude and have him carry out their agenda. So if it ain't this agenda they got on black folks, it's the desperate agenda. But either way, they gonna try to push an agenda on us. Guarantee that. And remember, if it looks shady, it's probably shady. If it look funny, it's probably funny. And if it looks like it's bullshit, it's probably bullshit. Don't let nobody talk their way out of it and be like, well, no, what could have happened was if he ran and slipped, then the stage would have caught him and he thought he was going into another room. Motherfucker, you're lying. We know damn well what it is, and that's why it's on us right here at the Black Alpha Network and the New Black Media and the Black Grassroots to call it how we see it, and we see through all the bullshit. So what it seems like, y'all rocking with me, what it seems like is that if they cannot cancel culture you, if they cannot fake accusation you, And if they cannot make a surviving documentary about you, they send somebody on stage to attack you. This somebody who pops up out of nowhere, this somebody who represents those other communities, this somebody who got past all the security and was able to get on stage untouched. The first people to touch him was the other comedians who had to come out for help. Chris Rock, Jon Stewart, Jamie Foxx, these people did all the security that night. Yeah, fucking right. Remember, when we get on code, the dominant society gets desperate. They would prefer to do everything backhanded, covert, undermine, real sneaky. But when we check all that shit, they say just fuck it, just do it in the open. And that's exactly what has happened. And then, to make that even more fucked up, then you see that the DA says we're not even gonna charge this guy. No, I mean, he committed a crime. I mean, we have the weapon. We have evidence. We have footage. Broke every crime in the book, and they say, no, we just gonna let him free. Put it this way, the guy who did that, tried to attack another person on stage in the open with a weapon, is at home in his house tonight the same way we are. Accident? Coincidence? Bullshit. So shout out to our brother Dave Chappelle, because the new black media and the Black Grassroots are going to speak the truth 100% and call it what it is. And what it is just another desperation tactic. It's just another anti-black desperation tactic. And you typically see this when we get on code, because when we're on code and we're building, we see through everything. Easy. They can't get nothing past us. We see and we hear it all. But trust and believe, we snatching paperwork. We running off blocks. And this is why they just get so bold to do it in public and just say, run on stage. Because the covert and the overt, they tried it, it ain't work. The sneaky and the snakes, they tried it, didn't work. They saying, damn, these black folks ain't falling for our games. That's exactly what they resort to. See, W's would prefer to do it in a hidden way, but if they really have to, they'll do it in the open way. And every time they run the open, the hidden, the overt, the covert, we're calling that shit out. And speaking of calling, if you want evidence that our Black Grassroots movement is powerful, that our Black Grassroots movement got them shook, that our Black Grassroots movement is official, then all you got to do is take a look at who they made a phone call to. Ladies and gentlemen, they called Obama. Yup. Yes, they did. Because there's nothing that screams desperation more than when they got to call Obama on the phone and try to get him to come calm the Negroes down. Like this 2006. Sorry, but the church folks, the pastor, the deacon, they ain't gonna work. Sorry, but the Democrat, the liberals, the blue checks, they ain't gonna work. They've all received eviction notices and they've all been put on the corner. Because this is a certified season and the only movement that matters is the grassroots. We have taken all the lamestream characters, all the lamestream actors, and we literally got them the fuck up out of there. And now we are our own advocates. And this is what happens when you have a Black Grassroots movement. This is the first time in history where B1s, grassroots, people who are the regular, average, everyday black folks are in control. The boule has no power anymore. When's the last time you seen the boule make any power moves? All the power moves are being done by us. We're the ones who create all the power moves. We're the ones at the boss's table. You don't see nobody using their lingo. As a matter of fact, all their lingo, all that old shit like African American, man, we done ran that shit the fuck out of here. Nobody uses those terms. As a matter of fact, anybody who uses those terms gets immediately disqualified from the conversation. Come up in this motherfucker and say I'm a person of color. And black folks is getting up and walking the fuck out. Say as a minority. And black folks is getting up and walking the fuck out. None of that shit works anymore, just like Obama doesn't work anymore. They sent Barack Obama to some summit, some meeting, so he could talk about misinformation. Basically, he was talking about us. And the motherfucker looked like he didn't even want to be there. He was tired. He had bags under his eyes and shit because he knows his words ain't got no effect anymore. He knows his words don't hold no more weight. You ain't got to ask around. I mean, the man knew it himself. He was only doing this shit out of his coon duty. Zaddy made a phone call. Zaddy told him what to do, and he got up and did it. Now, Barack Obama's made a whole lifetime of doing that shit. He was the president for 8 years, and he was still taking Zaddy orders. So he got up off his fucking couch, went there, stumbled, said, misinformation. He did that shit for about an hour, went back home, but he knew that shit wasn't holding no weight. He knew that shit wasn't gonna work, but he was trying to get ahead of the curve, and he was trying to be a good little boy.
Obama's visit to Chicago today. He had a warning about what he said. Obama's visit to Chicago today. He had a warning about what he says is a major threat to the U.S. and democratic countries across the world.
WGN political reporter Taman Bradley is live from Hyde Park now with the very latest. Taman?
Ray and Micah, the Atlantic and the University of Chicago Institute of Politics teamed up for this conference on disinformation, a threat that President Obama says he underestimated. Former President Barack Obama back home in Chicago tonight with an urgent warning about disinformation.
We don't know what we don't know. It's very difficult for us to get out of the reality that is constructed for us.
Studies show social media accelerates the speed of disinformation.
I do think that there's a demand for crazy on the internet that we have to grapple with.
And that's what happens. He's out here kissing ass. He's out here trying to please massa. And we out here kicking up dust doing what the fuck we want to do. Y'all see the difference? And this is the beauty of being B1. This is the beauty of being certified black. This is the beauty of being an FBA. You call your own shots, you make your own moves. They got fucking hands up their backs like puppets, strings attached to them. They can't even make a fucking step unless Massa gives them the go ahead. We green light our own shit. If we say go, we go. That's the beauty of being B1. That's the beauty of it. And we are representing it right now to the fullest, and it's never happened before. The majority of time in this country, FBAs, we've been in the tug of war with off-code people. It's the off-code versus the on-code, the counterfeits versus certifieds, back and forth. And we do something, they do something. They do something, we do something. Now it's to the point, it's not even a fair fight anymore. These motherfuckers done packed up. They ain't even come out. We done walk to the ring, and we in the ring right now. These motherfuckers still in the dressing room. They scared to show their face. That's why Barack Obama don't show his face. When's the last time y'all seen Michelle Obama? Hey, I'm gonna say this about Michelle. Michelle is smart. Barack, he just gonna do what Zaddy gotta do all day long. But Michelle, she knows her shit ain't working, so she just stays away. When's the last time y'all seen Oprah Winfrey or Gayle King? Oprah tried to put out a documentary and stopped and said, nah, the certifieds ain't gonna go for that. They're gonna run this shit off the block. So she just quit. I'm telling y'all, at this point, they are in the dressing room afraid to walk down that aisle because they know when you step in that ring, you stepping in our ring. When you step on that turf, you stepping on our turf. And this is a problem that don't nobody want, and this is some smoke that don't nobody want to receive. But either way, like it or not, we are in full effect, and it's the Black Grassroots that makes everything move. Trust me when I tell you that shit. By the way, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, Black Alpha Network. I appreciate all my day ones. I appreciate all my new riders. I always say that because I want people to know this is a family. This is a team. I don't know about anybody else, but everyone who knows this side, Black Alpha, you know that we represent every person in the circle. Everybody. Nobody's above anyone. When you're on code and you're living a real on code lifestyle, it takes all of us to achieve what we're trying to achieve. So I'm going to put everything on hold, and I always do, to stop and send a B1 salute to all of my family, because that's what we are. If we're going to be in this game together, we're going to ride together, we ride together, we're going to shine together. And I want everyone to know that as I proceed. So yes, Barack Obama came out and he was talking about misinformation, disinformation, how we need to be careful what we read on the internet. Like folks can't put that together. You know what I'm saying? We are careful what we read on the internet. We careful what anything that the dominant society says. So you know goddamn well he wasn't talking to us. He's really trying to tell everybody, stay away from the new black media. The new black media is the core, is the centerpiece of this Black Grassroots movement. And that's what Malcolm X was talking about in the beginning. The clip I played of Malcolm X, he was saying exactly what's going on now. That's why we stand on the shoulder of all of our great ancestors, all of our pillars, and Malcolm X is one of them as well. He was talking about during the March on Washington back in the 1960s. That was the real Black Grassroots that got that shit popping. Oh yeah, it was black folks out there tearing shit up. It wasn't the motherfuckers having sit-ins. No, it was the black B1s of that era. They were out there making real change, and they had a whole different game plan than all them Selma folks. So what happened? The dominant society, Zaddy, John F. Kennedy, he got on the phone with all of those boule guys, and he told them, you guys try to stop this. And that's what Malcolm said. They told him, we can't stop it because we didn't start it. And I'm gonna fast forward to right now, today. Barack Obama, Roland Martin, Joy Reid, Angela Rye, Bakari Sellers, any blue check, any Republican, any damn Democrat, I don't give a damn who you are. You cannot stop this movement because you did not start this movement. This movement belongs to us. This is why everywhere we go, we represent who we are, lineage, heritage, certified soul. I say it all the time. FBA is the nationality, B1 is the mentality, and certified is the soul. So we appreciate all the hate. We appreciate all the trolls. We appreciate all the distractors. Everybody who's trying to derail us, we appreciate it because all it does is let us know that the code is in full swing. When the code is in full swing, everybody starts acting up, and everyone's acting up right now. And that's good because I remember a time when black folks were off code and them coons was grinning. But right now, them coons is MIA. We got coons missing in action. You got coons that you ain't seen in 6-7 years. Why? It's because we stepped in the building. So either they walked out the door or they got their asses tossed out the door. But either way, this is our house. This is foundational Black America. This is certified Black society. And you can put that on anything. Now, let's take it a step further. They want to sit here and speak about voter rights. They want to sit here and talk about Crown Acts. They want to sit here and talk about Roe versus Wade. You see that? That's been in the news cycle again. And what happened? The liberals come out and they're trying to drum up emotion for black people so we can get behind a policy that affects everyone except for us. It's the same fake ally policy. They love their little ally policies where it's, we're your friend. Let's vote for this for your best interest. And they know goddamn well it ain't working. They know goddamn well. Remember, voting rights is about illegal immigration. That's about getting illegals to vote. HR 40 is to stall black folks, and Roe versus Wade is about W women, all right? The same W women who say, we care about black babies, but then they see a black child get harmed on the news and they say, well, he should have picked up his pants. Yeah, the same ones who turn around and say, we're allies of our black sisters. And then they see a Breonna Taylor, they see a Sandra Bland, they see a Rakita Boyd, they see a Corinne Gaines, and they say, well, you have to obey the law. If there's one person on this earth that we all know don't give a damn about black kids, that is a Karen. Yes, indeed. I mean, think about it. Look at the history. This goes way back to slavery, but we can just speed that up. Emmett Till happened because of a false accusation from a Karen. The Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, Black Wall Street, happened because a false accusation from a Karen. Roe versus Wade happened because a false accusation from a Karen, and the Central Park 5 happened because a false accusation from a Karen. And they don't even make the shit up. Like, we don't even have to pull out the receipts. They've told us. The lady who got Emmett Till lynched, she came out and said she lied. She straight up said it. She made it up. The lady with the Roe versus Wade situation, she said she made it up. And then she said a whole gang of other shit she lied about. Listen.
So all those stories that are in the books and so forth are not true?
Yes, yes.
They're not true.
Right.
And it turned out that lying wasn't the only embarrassment this darling of the pro-choice forces presented. In her personal treatise published last year, Norma McCorvey told the story of her somewhat sordid life. Then she still adamantly supported abortion. Now she adds that to the list of sins she took with her into the baptismal pool.
I've cheated people out of money. I've sold drugs. I was an abusive alcoholic for, many, many years. I've done a lot against his teachings. But I think the far greater sin that I did was to be the plaintiff in Roe versus Wade.
You see, that wasn't about black people. Not at all. And in the year 20 anything, if you still believe a Karen, then you a damn fool. So no, Karen, we do not accept that. Roe versus Wade, the Me Too movement, none of that has anything to do with foundational black American men, women, or children. And that is the bottom line. So every time they come around during election season and they say, we're your friends, help us out, guarantee you everything they ask for is only so they can take your vote and use it so they can transition resources over to other groups who are anti-black. That is the play time and time and time again. And black folks fell for that shit for 60 years until we showed up. Once again, we changed the motherfucking game. Everything they used to get away with yesterday, they do not get away with today. Every con game they used to run yesterday, they cannot use today. Every trick bag, every hustle, pad, hoodwink, bamboozled, none of that shit works today. And that's all because of the Black Grassroots. And we've always had a Black Grassroots. You can take this back to day one. Go back to slavery. The motherfucker who was sitting in the house drinking the fucking tea, hanging out with Master Toby, his ass, he represents the counterfeit. The people that were in the field, getting everybody together, saying we getting the fuck out of here tonight. That's the Black Grassroots, and it's the same with Reconstruction. The folks that was afraid to leave Master's house, the ones who say we just gonna stay here forever, them are the counterfeits, and the ones who said, man, fuck Master's house, we gonna go build our own shit. That is us, and you can apply the same thing to the civil rights era. The folks that were out there locking arms, kicking their feet with all their allies, saying we shall overcome, we all know that's the counterfeits. Oh yeah, that's counterfeit Negroes all day. But the ones who were out here in these streets putting in work, taking no L's, that was the Black Grassroots, and that is who we represent. Only difference is right now, we're on code and we stronger than never. So no, there won't be any we shall overcomes. There won't be any yes we cans. There won't be any vote blues no matter who's. But there will be some cut the motherfucking checks. And if they don't believe us, just watch. Black Lives Matter ran their asses out of here in 5 years. Scam Master J ran him out of here in 5 months. Tamika Mallory, my son, they saw themselves to the door. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, who? Don't nobody exist. They can't exist in our presence. And it ain't safe for Sambos out here in these streets. And it all starts with us right here on the grassroots level. All of us, every single one, not missing a soul. Us B1s, us CBS, Certified Black Society, it's all based on our doing. That's why this is the takeover. So while they're out here trying to get fish fry, Crown Acts, voting rights, the gap can't be any bigger, the distance can't be any wider. They're on that page, we're on this one. They on that bullshit, we on that real shit. And that's the difference, and that's why the Black Grassroots is making it happen. The tangible movement, that's on the Black Grassroots level. The Reparations movement, that's on the Black Grassroots level. Saving Mason, Tennessee, that's on the Black Grassroots level. Everything is coming from the Black Grassroots. We've taken away the lame stream and replaced them with some B1s. And that's a very, very dangerous thing for the haters. But we equal opportunity though. They can't get too mad at us because it's ACG. Anybody can get it. These other groups that leech on to us, we done ran them up off the block. We grabbing that phone and calling ICE. Yes, literally removing them from the block. These other groups that haven't paid their premiums fly all the way over here and think that they're going to disrespect us on our territory in the country that we built. They get the same treatment, regulated, because we the regulators. So whether you call it a G-check, whether you call it pulling paperwork, running them off the block, and when we say takeover, I'm talking about the whole thing. Black politics, we taking it over. Black economics, we taking it over. Black empowerment, we taking it over. Black reparations claims, reparations panels, we're taking it over. You're not gonna see no more FBA panels with no FBAs. You're not gonna see anybody on our reparations boards that do not represent us. You're not gonna claim our culture, and you definitely are not gonna speak on our lineage if you ain't one of us. So you know what that means? That means lineage-based everything. Lineage-based reparations, lineage-based tangibles, lineage-based policies, lineage-based resources. The door is closed. We ain't accepting no applications. So hop your ass back over that wall and fly your ass back over that ocean, because this seat is taken. Yes, indeed. All right, family, you know. I got nothing but love for everybody. I appreciate everyone for coming through. Check out more. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to push this thing all the way together, but we're going to do it side by side as one unit, as one team, as one family. When you're in this type of situation that we're in, you got to make sure that you turn to your people. You got to make sure that the person next to you is solid, and they got to make sure that you're solid. Each one teach one. If we all do a little, then we all can do a lot. And I told my brothers the other day on the Twitter space, I said, hey, I'm wherever you need me. I'm wherever you need me. If you ever need me, call me, hit me up, DM me. It does not matter. One hand washes the other, and I am my brother's keeper, and I am my sister's keeper. This is what it is. It's about the brothers and sisters, the kings, the queens, the goddess, and the gods. When we speak about B1, when we speak about FBA, when we speak about Certified Black Society, you can hear it in my tone. I say that shit with pride. I say it very prideful, and I stand on it because it means everything to me, just like all of you do. So I want everyone to stay safe, everyone to stay good, and catch us on the other end, because we're going to keep bringing that smoke. And I have to mention, I appreciate everybody. We just cracked 1,000 subscribers on the channel, Black Alpha Network. I appreciate that immensely. I appreciate all the passion, all the love. I remember when I first started, I started this just because I wanted to help our people. I wanted to play my role in this Black empowerment. And it's been a long road, and every step of the way has been amazing. All the words, all the compliments, all the positivity How many times people have DM'd me and just told me they love me. Like people have said straight up, LOVE. They told me they love me and they love the Black Alpha Network, and I love them right back. I remember all the faces, I remember all the names, and I'll never forget it. Never. But we're gonna take this to a whole nother level, one they've never seen before, and when we get there, the whole goddamn world's gonna have to deal with us. So I hope everybody's good, hope everyone's healthy, y'all stay laser focused and get to the money, because when you got it all, you got everything. Peace and love. But remember one thing, and you know what it is: black is beautiful, and beautiful is black.